All right, let's jump right in. Welcome to this explainer. Today we're tackling one of the absolute most universally frustrating, heart-pounding moments in gaming, dying. On Immortal Realm, death is very real, and oh boy, it comes with some serious consequences. But hey, don't panic. This guide is all about transforming that chaotic, hair-pulling moment of defeat into a super clear, highly manageable recovery process. By the time we're done here, you're going to know exactly what to do the literal second your health bar hits zero. Here's the chronological survival guide we'll be following today. First, the anatomy of death. Then, corpse recovery. After that, surviving mortal shock. And finally, curing the shock. So, Section 1, Anatomy of Death. Let's look at exactly what happens when you die. I really want you to picture the exact moment a monster lands a brutal critical strike, or maybe another player just completely gets the drop on you. Your character falls, the screen shifts. You just died on Immortal Realm. Now what? Well, let's peel back the curtain and see exactly what the game system is doing behind the scenes while you're sitting there staring at your screen. Okay, here's the exact sequence of events. The millisecond your health hits zero, you instantly become a ghost. You leave behind a physical corpse with, well, absolutely everything you were carrying, and a permanent gravestone drops at your exact location. Then you immediately gain a mortal shock stack. That's a nasty little debuff we'll spend plenty of time on in a minute. Finally, your ghost gets instantly teleported to the nearest healer, so you can manifest and get resurrected by either an NPC or a fellow player. It's a very specific, totally automated chain reaction. Now, there is actually a pretty fascinating exception to all this chaos: young protection. If you're a brand new player, the game throws you a bone and actively shields you from the absolute worst penalties. While you have this status, you take reduced damage from monsters and get partial loot protection when you die. But here's the best part. You completely skip getting those mortal shock stacks and you literally can't be flagged for PvP. This nice little safety net lasts until you've logged enough total playtime, or, if you're feeling bold, until you manually type the incredibly dramatic relinquish command. I must consider my sins. Moving on to Section 2, Corpse Recovery, and getting your gear back. So the most crucial number staring you in the face right after you resurrect is 30. You have exactly 30 minutes. That's your corpse persistence timer. If it takes you 31 minutes to get back to the spot where you bit the dust, well, your corpse decays naturally, and every single piece of gear you were carrying is just gone forever. Time is absolutely of the essence here. But how you handle that 30-minute timer depends entirely on where you died. And honestly, this brilliantly highlights the dual nature of Immortal Realm. If you die on the Trammel facet, your corpse is completely safe. No one else can touch it. You just do the standard recovery loop, resurrect, run back within 30 minutes, grab your stuff, and you're golden. But Felucca? Oh, Felucca is a whole different beast. Your corpse is instantly open to looting. Whoever gets there first, friend or foe, gets your gear. Speed is ultra critical here. Grab what you can as fast as you humanly can. The golden rule for Felucca is simple. Stash your valuables in the bank and only bring what you can actually afford to lose. All right, Section 3, Surviving Mortal Shock. Let's talk about that cumulative penalty. Let's say you successfully pulled off your corpse run. You've got your gear back. Are you back to normal? Well, actually, scratch that. Not quite. You're still dealing with mortal shock. By definition, this is a cumulative penalty stack that gets slapped on you each and every time you die. Its main effect? Tanking your character's maximum HP. This isn't just some minor debuff you can brush off either. If you leave it unchecked, it's going to force you to fundamentally alter how you play until those stacks either decay naturally or you get them ritually cleared. Let's break down exactly how dangerous this gets. At 1 to 2 stacks, the HP drop is barely noticeable. Honestly, you can mostly just ignore it. At 4 to 6 stacks, it becomes kind of a mild combat handicap where you might start thinking about getting some help. But once you've hit 8 to 12 stacks, yeah, that's a real handicap. You absolutely need to actively go find a Chirurgeon. By 14 to 20 stacks, we're talking about a serious problem. You really should just stop fighting altogether. And if you somehow hit the hard cap of 24 stacks, no way. Do not enter combat, period. Surviving is virtually impossible at that point. You're looking at mandatory ritual clearing or taking a really, really long break from the game. Now, if you're hoping to clear these stacks passively, there is a decay rate. It ticks down at a rate of 1 stack per hour of online time. And definitely pay close attention to that last part, online time. A massive, massive mistake players make is thinking they can just log out for the night and wake up completely cured. Nope. Offline time pauses the timer. It simply picks right back up exactly where you left off the second you log back in. Which brings us to Section 4, Curing the Shock. Let's look at rituals and relief. Because hanging around online for hours isn't always a viable strategy, especially if you're sitting on high stacks. The game provides some pretty incredible social solutions to turn this harsh penalty into actual community interaction. And it all centers around the gravestone. Remember that sequence of death we covered earlier? The gravestone that drops at your death site isn't just spooky set dressing. It persists for a full 24 hours. It has your character's name plastered right on it, and it's totally immovable in public. Most importantly, this stone acts as the literal ritual surface you're going to need for all three of the game's recovery paths. The first, and honestly most common way to get yourself fixed is the healing-flavored route, the Chirurgeon path. Members of the College of Chirurgeons can perform a ritual called Last Rites right at your gravestone. This magically clears all of your mortal shock stacks instantly, whether you have 5 or the full 24. All you gotta do is open the Providers tab in the Commons, whisper an active Chirurgeon, and meet them at your grave. Keep in mind you do have to be online for this to work, and hey, don't feel bad about asking. The Chirurgeon actually earns service points toward their own promotion just by helping you out. Now, if you prefer a more records-flavored approach, there's the Ledger path. Members of the High Ledger can actually issue death certificates right at your grave. Mechanically, this functions exactly like Last Rites. It wipes all your mortal shock stocks instantly. The real difference here is the institutional flavor. This path creates a permanent, public attestation of the event, and the Ledger member scores filing points for their trouble. It's just a really fantastic piece of world building that also neatly solves your mechanical problem. But what if you only have a few stacks and really don't want to bother an order member? That's exactly where the easiest, completely free method comes in, the friend path. Any player, well, any player other than you, can leave Mourner's flowers at your gravestone. Every single tribute reduces your mortal shock by exactly 1 stack. There's a cap of 5 total tributes per grave and a limit of 1 tribute per specific player. So, simply getting your guildmates to swing by your death site can knock off up to 5 stacks, totally free of charge. This really illustrates just how flexible the system is. Here's a super quick cheat sheet for when to ask for help. Sitting on 8 or more stocks and need a fast clear? Hit up a surgeon or a ledger member. Want a public record of your epic fail? Call the ledger. Got friends willing to help out on the cheap? Get literally anyone to drop some Mourner's flowers. And of course, if you died because of a stuck character or an actual game bug, just bypass the roleplay entirely and submit a /support ticket. All right, before we wrap this up, let's quickly recap the most common survival mistakes players make so you don't repeat them. Number 1, trying to fight at 15+ stacks. You are massively handicapped at that point. Seriously, go find a Chirurgeon. Number 2, lollygagging on a Felucca corpse run. It decays at 30 minutes, folks, so speed is literally everything. Number 3, stubbornly trying to self-treat with that slow online decay instead of just asking the community for a quick social favor. And finally, completely ignoring the free, super easy help of Mourner's flowers from your friends. So yes, death in Immortal Realm is punishing, but as we've explored in this explainer, it's also deeply woven into the very social fabric of the game. It creates economies, entire professions, and some really cool moments of teamwork. So now that you're armed with the knowledge of corpse timers, mortal shock limits, and exactly who to call when things go sideways, are you ready to brave the dangers of the realm? Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and good luck out there.